Badlands, right into Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Mr. Vice President, I'm going off script again, I know, but I just want to personally thank you. We've been through some stuff. We've gone through some of the most complex military operations this country's ever conducted, and your steady hand and your leadership during those was a great source of strength for me. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your character. Thank you for your selfless service. Thank you for commitment. Thank you for being a mentor to me, Mr. Vice President.
It's called the swamp. And you know what happened? And you know what I did? A big favor. I caught the swamp. I caught them all. Let's see what happens. Nobody else could have done that but me. I caught all of this corruption that was going on, and nobody else could have done it. Did I get that one right? Every 4 years, we gather on these steps to carry out the orderly and peaceful transfer of power. Today's ceremony, however, has very special meaning, because today we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government, while the people have borne the cost. Washington flourished, but the people did not share in its wealth. This American carnage stops right here and stops right now. The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer. From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be only America first.
This is a president of the United States who is a danger to the republic.
America first.
He knows he's an illegitimate president.
The oath of office I take today is an oath of allegiance to all Americans.
The great Trump recovery.
America will never be a socialist country. I will fight for you with every breath in my body.
Russia, Russian, pro-Russian, Russian, Russia, Russian, 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 the Russians.
Russia.
And I will never, ever let you down.
A dangerous virus is spreading rapidly in China, and U.S. officials are very worried that it could come here.
This is really the worst attack we've ever had. This is worse than Pearl Harbor. This is worse than the World Trade Center. There's never been an attack like this.
The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action. What they're doing is using COVID to steal an election. Together, we will make America strong again. You know what it's about? Fraud, fake ballots. We will make America wealthy again. They are trying to steal the election.
Now, under the leadership of President Trump, we are fully realizing President Kennedy's prescient view of Special Operations Forces.
We will make America proud again. And watch, please, those mail-in ballots. We will make America safe again. And in millions and millions of ballots, their vote is under what they thought they needed. They're dumping more ballots in there, okay? And yes, together, we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you. If we are right about the fraud, Joe Biden can't be president.
Congress, the chair declares the joint session dissolved.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to.
I'm blurry.
That's okay, man. Everybody just squint a little bit if you're watching right now. You'll be able to see him a little better.
Oh man, I hit a button on my camera and I messed it up. So sorry, everybody.
It's
I would
okay.
fix it, but now it's too late.
Maybe you're just normal. I'm just like super high def. That's what's going on.
That's cool.
Anyway, welcome to the Saturday edition of the Devolution Power Hour. We got Chris with us, but Patrick, he says his computer like broke down yesterday, but really he's at a dance like competition, and I think that's just like more important to him right now, and so can't blame him.
He was born to dance. He was born to dance.
Born to dance. Born to dance in Solution. Oh, Patrick. But yeah, so just gonna be us tonight. Should be fun. I'm excited about it. Might be a little less flowery, insulting language put forth, but maybe not. Maybe we can get creative. See what happens. Tonight should be a fun show, though. We're going to talk about new cryptocurrencies being launched by Trump. We're going to talk about Russia-Ukraine nuclear warfare. We're going to talk about some CIA op that was foiled by Maduro and Venezuela. What else we got? We got the Russian interference story is continuing to gain steam in the mainstream. Oh, we got the new what's the turn the page thing that they're doing? We'll talk. It is
unbelievable.
That. We'll probably start with that one, and then I had one more, but I can't remember what it was. So we'll see.
Venezuela.
I think I said that. Maduro.
Did you say that?
Yeah, he foiled a plot, and
I love it.
The Russia stuff is interesting. The Venezuela stuff it's all interesting. We're going to talk about it all. Before we do, well, I forgot to ask how you're doing, other than your camera.
The horrors persist.
Okay.
But so do I. Yeah.
Okay.
Except for my camera.
Except for your camera. It does not persist anymore. No. Let's get a word in from our sponsors real quick. And I'm a little nervous because I'm going to butcher this word. It's in this ad like 7 times. You guys will figure out which one it is. Would like to thank one of our newer sponsors here, introducing Pure Himalayan Shilajit Gold Resin by Pecco Wellness, and experience the ancient secret of wellness, guys. And that's the word I'm going to struggle with this whole thing. Sourced from the Himalayas and tested by a third party for maximum potency. Their 100% pure and authentic Shilajit gold resin is rich in essential minerals, fulvic acid, and humic acid, and other organic compounds, offering a treasure trove of nutrients that have been cherished for centuries as a powerful health supplement. Shilajit is known to enhance mitochondrial function, thereby increasing energy production in the body and boosting energy levels. It's also been shown to increase sperm count and motility and regulate female hormones, thus improving fertility. The fulvic acid in Shilajit has neuroprotective properties, which can help improve cognitive function and may protect against cognitive disorders like Alzheimer's disease. Its antioxidant properties help protect cells from damage and support overall health and longevity. So visit badlandsmedia.tv/Pecos, that's P-E-C-O-S, and save 10% with promo code Badlands to start energizing your life with Shilajit.
Well, hey, I'm back.
I don't know if that's like a joke on me or not, but we need Patrick to read these ads when they have big words like that.
Is it Shilajit? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I don't know if that's how you say it, though.
It sounds kind of like shill logic.
Kind of. But the Himalayan stuff, like, I don't know. It seems like a very interesting product. Product. I want to try it. Got to get that sperm count up for, no reason, whatever. But here, we got another sponsor. And this one, I don't have to read anything, so I'm very happy. Thank you to MyPillow and Mike Lindell.
You ask and we listen. We're finally bringing the most requested offer ever. Get the queen size premium MyPillow, now only $19.98. MyPillow is made with patented adjustable fill. It adjusts to your exact individual needs regardless of your sleep position. It helps keep your neck aligned and holds its shape all night long so you get the best sleep of your life. But that's not all. Get our 6-piece kitchen or bath towel sets only $25. Our brand new mattress topper as low as $69.98. Get our famous MyPillow bed sheets for as low as $25 and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get huge discounts on all MyPillow products, including the premium queen-size MyPillow, only $19.98. That's the lowest price ever. Don't delay. Order today. From all of us here at MyPillow, thanks, America!
So the chat is telling me it's Shilajit.
Ah.
But here's my thing: if you're not gonna, if the ad read doesn't tell me like how to pronounce something, that means I have full creative responsibility and freedom to say it however I want. And
Shilajit.
Shilajit, I like that better.
Man, look how focused I am now.
What'd you do?
Fixed it.
Did you take some gold resin? Did your camera take some gold resin? How'd you actually fix it though? Because you were like struggling with that for 15 minutes.
Yeah, there was a button that I was missing.
A literal button?
Yeah. So I did something by accident when I was turning it on. I hit something else and it changed. It was just a light touch on this button that changed the whole mode. And now I'm
you look great. You look great, man.
Great. Yeah.
All right, let's start with this. This is awesome. In a bad way.
But I kind of liked it when she did this. Turn the page. You like that? Okay, so I need you to be with me and practice with me. What are we going to do? We're going to turn the page. Oh, pretty good. Do it again. We're going to turn the page. And we're going to turn the page. All right, so I'm going to be watching you because when I see Wisconsin, and I'm going to watch you nationally on TV because this is a pretty important place, and Minnesota helped you practice with this. You just show me this. Turn the page, right? Turn the page. And you know what else that looks like? Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Donald Trump. We are turning the page. 52 days and we are turning the page. 52 days and it is bye-bye, Donald Trump.
Crazy. I mean, aren't we technically on the Biden administration page? We're not on Trump's page, technically.
Yeah.
So turning the page would be turning it to Trump. That's so cringe, though. Holy.
You know, the Eric Weinstein interview with this guy, Chris Williamson, a couple of weeks ago was mostly annoying, but he did do good analysis of Kamala Harris talking about being unburdened by what has been, you know, just erasing the past, moving to this new future. And it's all, you know, progressivism. It's always about moving forward. That's just communism. They're taking over. And so when they say turn the page, it's like that thing is ending and we're going to start our thing now.
It's crazy, man.
That's never going to happen.
No, it's brutal. And, you know, let's talk a little bit quick about the campaigns because, you know, we're like less than 60 days out.
Can we actually stick with this just for one more second and then go into the campaigns?
Yeah.
Because, man, the amount of fake stuff toward the end of this week, you know, first you got Kamala right before the debate starts. You got Donna Brazil's face on ABC. She's the person who gave Hillary Clinton the questions back in 2016, screwed over the Bernie Sanders people. Then you've got one of the moderators is her sorority sister, not the same house, not the same chapter, and not the same time, but they're in the same sorority. So they've kind of been inculcated into a similar culture and they're taught to look out for one another. I was in a fraternity. That's what they teach you. And then you've got her friend, Dana Walden, is the head of ABC. She's like the head of entertainment for Disney. And her husband is best friends with Kamala's husband. So those three links right in there, all of that should suggest massive conflict of interest with ABC. They should have bent over backwards to make sure that things were, there you go, to make sure that things were as objective as possible, right? But they didn't do any of that. No. And then we get rumors about a whistleblower from ABC saying that they have proof that Kamala had the questions in advance. I mean, I would be surprised if Kamala's campaign didn't give ABC the questions because they are part of the same team, essentially.
Much more likely.
Yeah. And so then we, you know, after that, they go back out on the campaign trail. Kamala's got these clips. I mean, first off, she's right back to being insane. But there are these clips that sound like it's a laugh track and a cheer track behind it. Like they're pumping extra noise into the venue. And we already know she was bussing in like 80% of the people. And then you've got this stuff with Tim Walz. Tim Walz had his crowd. They spontaneously out of nowhere started a chant, "We don't eat cats. We don't eat cats." the first time he made a joke about eating cats, they're just chanting, "We don't eat cats," 2 seconds later in unison. That's impossible.
What?
Yes. This is all just
I missed that.
crazy.
And that's hilarious.
I do that video too. It's nuts. We can watch it, and I'll hand it back to you after this. But man, they are
Keep it.
program the audience with. It's like we were talking before the show, like the tomahawk chop with the Atlanta Braves or the Florida Seminoles. You know, this is gonna be the sign of the Kamala campaign or something. We're gonna turn the page. It's too weird.
Here, I think this is what you're talking about.
And you tell me you had this on your bingo card, and they're eating cats, We can say. And
wow. What the hell, man?
It's just, is it possible? Yeah, I guess it's possible. The likelihood of it is almost 0%.
I mean, yeah, I mean, everything we're seeing here, it's a fake election. Yeah. It's the fake polls, fake everything. It's propaganda war, narrative warfare at its finest, and sometimes at its worst. But this whole cats thing, like, it does seem so like far out of left field. Like, this is the topic of conversation for a week. Like, one side arguing, no, these people aren't eating cats, and the other side's arguing like, well, yeah, they are. We have video of it, and just that's what we're fighting about now. It's not about the actual policies or the issues or anything. It's about whether or not people eating cats is a real thing.
Yeah, except I don't know, man. I would be 100% on board with you, except for the fact that I think that the eating the cat stuff is just a next step in terms of this Haiti progression that's going to eventually wind up at the Clintons and gold mines and child trafficking. I mean, it's already blowing back on DeWine. I guess he has an organization down in Haiti. And, you know, what was it, 5-6 months ago, we had the Haitian cannibal gang leader barbecue.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so, and listen, man, no offense to Haitians. I have a good buddy who's Haitian and still has family there and kind of like clues me in about things every now and then. But we have Haitian cannibals. Now we have Haitian cat and dog eaters. And this thing gets immediately connected to the practice of voodoo down there. Mm-hmm. So, man, you know, and I know that all this stuff gets into like the esoteric zones for like, this is like when the normie mind shuts down and they're like, there's no way all this stuff is happening. I used to think that way. Like I used to deny Pizzagate. Like they would tell us if this was happening because I believe that the media was a real thing, you know, but man, you just see it. It's a few jumps away. And these are the kind of like the narrative cycles through a bunch of times. We get these reruns and these cycles every 2 or 3 months. And the next time this thing comes around, it's going to be a lot bigger.
Yeah. I don't see it coming around to like the actual Clintons and stuff though, until
right
after
now.
the election.
Yeah. I think that's probably right.
Yeah. And I'm not even just the election, but after Trump gets back in, that's when I think we see a lot of the vindication about the things that we've been saying for a long time that we've clearly been right about, but we get called conspiracy theorists for. That's what we're going to get vindication for a lot of that stuff after Trump's back in. But let's talk a little bit about the debate stuff, because while the debate was happening, we were covering it live and we had our discussion afterwards about what the fallout of this debate was going to be. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the very immediate fallout, like that night and the day after, I was talking to some people, and a lot of them I wouldn't say they're normies, they're conservatives. Some of them even follow this like pretty religiously, but some don't. But they all said that, I mean, man, Trump missed an opportunity for the independents. And it's kind of the stuff that we were talking about during the show. That's like, doesn't matter. Like, that's not what this is about. And ever since like a few more days have passed, like, I don't think nobody's really talking about the debate hardly at all anymore. Like nobody cared. Didn't matter.
It's amazing how fast the news cycles through.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought it was going to be a good enough show by Kamala Harris. It would make her look like a serious person. People would ignore the rest of it. They would watch her visual presentation, have a good feeling about it, and like her at that point. I don't know, man. I don't think she came off well.
I don't either. The thing that I've seen people talk about the most is her earrings and whether or not they're microphones or speakers or whatever.
Yeah. And
compelling. It's compelling. She wears those damn earrings all the time. So
yeah, man. The whole thing about Donald Trump taking the bait, that all blew over almost immediately. There were 15 instances in that debate where he absolutely slammed her into next month, and everybody just ignored that. And I don't know, man. I think it played probably pretty well for Trump, better than people thought. And now he's got this line about how he's justifiably angry. He's angry on behalf of the country. One of her big shots now makes him look good.
Yeah. And he was on fire last night talking at in Vegas, which, oh, by the way, I got to give a shout out here real quick to one of our buddies, 8-Track, who was at the Las Vegas Trump rally. And he just so happened to be in the background right behind Trump. And if you were watching the Liberty Den last night, you saw us texting him live, and he's doing some like 8s on screen for us. And we're like, let's get him a logo. And sure enough, pulled up the Badlands Media logo right behind Trump at the rally. And then he went on to go through a bunch of Anon's logos too. But we were first, and super thankful to 8-Track for doing that. That was pretty cool. But yeah, he was on fire last night. He's bringing up like all these influencers. Did you watch the whole rally?
I watched till he started doing the call outs to the Nevada representatives there.
Okay.
I think it was probably like 45 minutes in or something.
Yeah, right after he did that, he brought out the Neck Boys. Is that what they are? Neck Boys? Nelk Boys. Nelk Boys. He, Bryce Hall, huge, social media following. Brought up a fighter. I mean, this feels different. And I know it's a fake election. I think they're going to try to steal it anyway. And the whole point of this is the narrative, right? But the support he's built around him for this time around it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
With what he's doing to reach the younger generation, especially. Which
and
that almost brings us to the crypto talk. But go ahead.
We still have 50 some odd days at this pace and quickening before, quote unquote, election day. That's a lot of time for more people to wake up to what's actually going on.
Oh,
and it's happening fast now, man, because, these are the opportunities where the regime can get everybody back on the same page and hope to create an impression and get people aligned again. But every time they do that, it backfires on them. Backfired big time on Biden, just backfired on Kamala Harris, not quite to the same degree, but in some ways, man. And Trump's been going hard after the ABC News thing too. He's basically directly threatening their broadcasting license because they were unbalanced. And that makes me think about how things used to be. I did an episode on this at the end of June called Equal Time, talking about how they used to have the quote unquote fairness doctrine. And of course, all that's totally blown up. If it ever existed in a real way, who's to say? But CNN was surprisingly down the middle of the road. And it doesn't mean that we think that they're smart or that they've woken up or that they're saying something interesting. It just means that they weren't, overtly on the other side. And obviously this one was a disaster.
Well, there's a couple things there. First, with CNN, if they wanted to get Biden gone, that's exactly what they would do. They would be totally fair about it. They wouldn't want to try to show the guy they want to get rid of any bias. They definitely wouldn't show Trump any bias. So you just go down the middle and then let him destroy himself. The ABC thing is interesting because just like 2 weeks ago, we went through this whole spiel from the DOJ and all these people, and it was Russian interference again. It was the 2016 Russian interference case rerun, and they are harping on this. But whatever they're accusing Russia of doing, like squatting on IP addresses and creating websites and then like paying money to people, and they couldn't even get them to retweet the organization that they created of their money, whatever, that pales in comparison to the type of election interference we just saw from ABC and that debate. Like, that is the most serious kind of election interference you can get outside of just manipulating the vote tallies, in my opinion. Like, if you're talking undermining the confidence in elections and, the propaganda, what ABC did was a crime. It was treason. And so Trump has every right to harp on them for this.
And of course, they're owned by Disney.
Yes.
Which makes it even like that's as big as it gets as far as, kind of legacy American corporations.
I would agree with that. But let's let's real quick before we're going to come back to the Russia stuff. I want to talk about the crypto thing first, because I mean, to me, it's almost hilarious. I can't believe Trump is actually getting behind this project, but we'll talk about why I think it is. And so let's just watch this first.
Join me live on Twitter Spaces at 8 p.m. this September 16th for the launch of World Liberty Financial. We're embracing the future with crypto and leaving the slow and outdated big banks behind.
Man, so
Rug Radio, by the way, hilarious.
Yes, Rug Radio. They're putting out their own crypto, and okay, that's cool. Like, I knew this was coming. They've been kind of promoting this for a while. They started a Telegram group about a month ago, but nobody really knew the details of it. And now that we have the details of it, oh, what the hell is this?
Wow.
Hi.
What's going on?
The kid got sick. We had to rush home, and our loss is me getting to go online. So, hi guys.
What is happening, man?
Apparently, Trump is pushing a shit coin. I want to buy all of it.
I figured you would. Well, this thing's crazy because when I actually read the details of what they're doing with this, they are doing everything wrong. Like, the reason you would want to buy a cryptocurrency is that it's like fully spread out to multiple people and everybody has a chance to get it, and it's not like centrally held by any one individual or group of people. And this coin, 70% of the coin is being held by the people who created it. That's like red flag number one.
Dude, Satoshi Nakamoto holds like 1 million freaking Bitcoin, dude.
5%.
Whatever, man.
And it hasn't moved.
It's a huge portion of it. If for some reason those wallets were to light up and start getting spent, it would move the market better than any whale manipulator ever could. You're not going to be able to start a cryptocurrency and not have the creators of the cryptocurrency, Genesis, block themselves a whole bunch of the friggin' currency. And if they want to ruin it, then they can use that block that they create for themselves frivolously. And if they want to be responsible with it, maybe they'll create a useful blockchain tool. I don't know.
That does remind me, Patrick, this week, Thursday, I did the recap series. It was part 10. And your Twitch thing that you put on the screen the whole time was your PayPal, which had the Bitcoin Armada in it. Remember that nice beer?
You know, I have done some cringe things in my life, and that was definitely one of them.
Anyway,
I had this idea that I would just get everybody to sign up for Coinbase, and then I would just get the $10 referral fee from like thousands of people, because who wouldn't want to sign up for Coinbase? And this was a long time ago, back before probably either one of you were doing anything with Bitcoin.
Yeah. Anyway, one other red flag I want to point out real quick about this new Trump cryptocurrency, besides 70% being held by the creators. Oh, shoot. What was it? Oh, they're going to vet every single person allegedly that buys it. Like, they're going to screen who it is just to make sure that bad, like, terrorists or, crime syndicates don't purchase the coin. That's red flag number 2, because with like most coins, like the reason you'd want to get into a cryptocurrency is, for one, it's not being centrally held. Number 2, it's like nobody knows who or how much money you have. Like, that's kind of part of it. And so those are like 2 huge red flags with this thing. But Trump's like apparently signing on board. I don't get it. What's your thoughts, Chris?
I mean, gosh, man, he says he wants to move away from the big banks. So that's great if that part is true. It could just be a honeypot kind of thing, because on Monday night I think that his interview with Elon Musk was also on a Monday. It just seems odd that he's going to do this Twitter Spaces. We're going to see who's going to go after it. Who knows who they could end up attracting to the cryptocurrency. There's been a lot of manipulation and interference with the DJT stock. I would expect the same sort of thing to be done here. Maybe he's telling people, hey guys, don't buy this. We're doing something else with it. And I don't know, man, drainage mechanism. I have no idea.
When cryptocurrency was first invented, it was invented by very smart people who wanted to figure out a way to make it so that you could send money over the internet, because you can't send money over the internet now. And then Bitcoin came to be. It benefited from the network effect, I think, largely because of the mystique around this anonymous creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, that nobody knew who he was. I think that was absolutely genius for creating buzz around Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is a very good currency, and it is a wonderful store of value. It doesn't mean it's the only one that can ever exist. And I find this messianism around Bitcoin, and some people referring to it as the Immaculate Conception, which is, by the way, asking for all kinds of divine judgment, guys. I mean, my God, I watched G Money refer to it as Christ 2.0. You're playing with fire, people. But at the same time, it's a great currency. But there are other ones out there. There are other ones out there that work better. There are other ones out there that are fit to purpose for cross-border transactions better than Bitcoin, in my opinion. Now, does that mean that Donald Trump is putting out the next big thing in crypto? Absolutely not. I have no idea what it is, what that's going to be. I'm going to buy some of it. Why? Because it might pump, and then I'll probably sell it. I don't understand why that's. Of course, to the Bitcoin maximalists, I don't know. What is that? Is that like some kind of heresy or sacrilege or something like that? I don't know.
Without getting into the attacks against Bitcoin maximalists, like there's serious concerns about this cryptocurrency, and my questions about is like, what is the motivations for Trump to do this? If let's say G Money is right, and I personally think he's very on track and on target with what he says about the Bitcoin stuff, minus what you said about the Jesus 2.0 or whatever. I maybe wouldn't go that far. But let's just play with this a little bit. Let's say he's right. Okay, if you're
right,
Trump,
right about what in particular?
Bitcoin is the future. Bitcoin is what it's going to be to destroy the central banks. Like, if enough people get onto Bitcoin, we win. I don't even know his full thesis, but whatever. Let's just assume Bitcoin is the end game. Okay, if you're Trump and you got this huge following, why would you put out like this pump and dump shitcoin 2 months before the election? Like, it seems insane to me.
Okay, because you assume that Bitcoin is the end game. You kind of buy into the whole Immaculate Conception stuff. What if you assume that that's not true and then attempt to figure out?
Well, let's play with my scenario first here. Let's play with my scenario first. I want to hear.
Why not?
Chris, I want to get your take on this too. Like, if that's the game, the goal, Bitcoin, this could be a way of educating people on cryptocurrency and like pointing out red flags with, oh, well, there's red flags here. Like, why would I want to get in on this? But then now that you're educated, you go to something that doesn't have those red flags.
Trump has a way of presenting ideas to the public. And because Trump is such a polarizing figure, everyone who is Trump deranged will immediately begin arguing that Trump is wrong, no matter what Trump is saying and doing. So if the crypto community comes out and they're making all of these arguments about how the cryptocurrency Trump is launching is wrong and bad and a scam and a ripoff, then what they are doing is making the anti-shitcoin argument to a massive audience who is captive based on the fact that it is a Trump-related story. And having the anti-shitcoin argument made very publicly and very well is a very important thing. And so Trump is going to take the reputational hits on that to educate everybody about what's actually happening. And you can see that pattern repeating in Donald Trump's stances on virtually every issue. So that seems to me like it might be one of the major intents, if not the only one. I don't know.
I think I agree with you. I like the way you said that. Okay, now Patrick, what was your alternative?
I don't actually understand. So are you kind of saying that it's a way of baiting people who suck into buying shitcoins from him?
No, it's a way to bait people who suck into arguing for the correct point of view by thinking that they're slamming Trump.
Which is what they do with like everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, I have no knowledge of what kind of protocol, what kind of consensus protocol he's using for his coin. I don't know anything about it. I don't think anybody does. Has he been forthcoming with how all of this works?
No, but Chris, what you said reminds me of what Trump said back when he was talking about the border. Like back in the day, he was like, you know, I should have came out against a border and the Democrats in Congress would have built one for me like that year. Like that's essentially what you're saying. That's perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's anything out about the consensus protocol. I don't know if the white paper is even out yet. I could be wrong on that though.
Someone had mentioned that there's probably someone in the chat who knows this already. Let me see if I can find it. What is it called?
World Liberty Fi.
World Liberty Fi.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We should be looking into that.
Into what?
Into World Liberty Fi and what the hell it is. Could it be decentralized finance? Could it be built on some other platform that is built for decentralized finance? Because that's obviously a big thing right now.
Yeah.
So, there apparently is a white paper that was leaked, and then here, let's go here.
This is interesting. Like, so World Liberty Fi shared this video that Trump posted. I'd missed Trump posting this, but look where he's at when he's walking out and around here.
Looks like the White House, huh?
No, wait. And look who's right behind him there in that picture.
Wait, oh.
That right there is Chris Miller.
Nice.
It's not the
I
arm
love this
game.
You know, I've said this before, guys. Give me control of the money of a nation. I care not who makes its laws.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump can't beat these bastards unless he's worth about $1.9 quadrillion. I have this kind of sneaking suspicion that there is some kind of truly massive financial play that Trump is making as well to turn himself into the oligarch of oligarchs. And if he freaking does that, I'm going to laugh myself sick.
I think that has definitely already happened. Like he's probably worth a couple trillion.
I hope so. A secret trillionaire.
That'd be awesome.
Hold on. I got to look at something here because I think this picture on screen is, I think I had this in one of my articles, or at least one of my drafts.
Is that Ratcliffe with him right there?
Yep. Same Army Navy football game.
Yep.
Oh my God. December 18th or 12th. One of the two.
December 14th.
Oh crap. Well, anyway, right in that time frame. And then December 18th was the fateful meeting where they tried to invoke Executive Order 13848. And he was thinking about making Sidney Powell the new special counsel for election fraud, and then all of that was rug pulled.
Sorry, December 12th was the football game. December 18th was supposed to be when the EO 13848 report was due, but it didn't come out till January 7th. December 18th was the day that Miller gave that speech at the Space Force anniversary to Pence, thanking Pence.
What a day.
For his service.
John, I threw a link in the chat that talks about the leak of the white paper.
Okay. Patrick, can you pull that up and go through it for a second? I want to see if I can find what I'm looking for here.
Yep. I see. Okay. I've got the article about it, but not the white paper itself.
That's right. I've not been able to locate that. Yeah, but this is it seems like a decent summary. I was just skimming it.
I can read the epic thread if you like.
Is there?
But you want to share my screen?
Yep.
Okay. A leaked World Liberty financial white paper has cast further doubt on the viability of the Trump DeFi project. So it is decentralized finance. For weeks now, anticipation has been building around a mysterious Trump crypto project. Last week, the former U.S. president and current Republican presidential nominee announced the rebranding of the crypto project from the defiant ones, love it, to World Liberty Financial. The platform's promotional materials claim it aims to, quote, put the power of finance back in the hands of the people and position itself as an antidote to a rigged traditional financial system. However, a draft white paper obtained by CoinDesk has cast doubts on these assertions. According to the document, a significant 70% of the platform's governance tokens, WLFI, are allocated to the founders, team, and service providers. This contrasts with other major blockchain projects, such as Ethereum and Cardano, where insiders held far less at their launches. Ethereum's insiders, for example, had about 16.6% of Ether, while Cardano's insiders retained 20% of ADA tokens. This high insider allocation has led some industry advisors to question the project's intentions. CoinDesk's report also links World Liberty Financial to individuals involved in a recently hacked crypto app, Doe Finance, further complicating the project's outlook. The white paper suggests that the Trump crypto project will be built on Aave, an existing DeFi platform on Ethereum.
Okay, let's pause for a second because I found what I was looking for. I want to show this. So this is the picture in this video. Okay. I mean, it's the same thing. Yeah. But I didn't actually post this article, though. This is one of my drafts that I never posted.
Super cool, dude.
But yeah, it's at the Army-Navy football game right around the time when all the shit went down.
And the video touting the DeFi project uses this exact photograph. I mean...
Yeah, except this is the video of it.
Yep.
The next paragraph in what Patrick was just reading has the thing that I found really interesting this week. Patrick, you want to do one more paragraph and then we can discuss?
You bet. The proposed WLFI token will be non-transferable and locked indefinitely, a decision possibly aimed at avoiding securities law violations. The white paper specifies that every WLFI buyer will be screened, erroneously citing FinCEN instead of the appropriate OFAC for compliance with U.S. sanctions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So OFAC is the Office of Foreign Asset Control. That is the entity tasked with the sanctions stuff under Executive Order 13848, and I believe probably under the human trafficking executive order as well.
It's all the executive orders. It's in the Treasury Department.
Yep.
I can show you here. Hold on one second. It's the OFAC sanctions list.
So if all of that was being pulled into something like this.
So what did this say? It said the white paper specifies that every buyer will be screened.
I can
that
find
is nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That reminds me of the beginning of Truth Social. Remember your little meme that you created that went a little viral?
Yeah, that Nunes and everybody shared of Hillary tweeting or whatever.
No, Donald Trump, one by one, letting people onto Truth Social.
That's right.
That was brilliant.
I had two of them that kind of went a little viral, but yeah, that one. But yeah, the OFAC thing is interesting. Like, so they're also drawing attention to that, especially when you erroneously cite the wrong thing, and everybody's like, "Well, actually, it's not that. It's OFAC." Then people like look at what is OFAC? What do they do? And it's all the executive orders that sanction anybody. They all fall under OFAC. OFAC's the group that does it.
Man, at some point we're going to have to really get back into that thing that people have come to say flippantly now about how Trump brought the Fed back under Treasury. There's got to be a lot there, man. I mean, I know Joe Lang has gone into this at some length. And it's one of those things that I kind of try to brush up on every few months and remember exactly what that is and how it works. But I think that we're starting to see some of that come into view. And I talked about this a little bit on my podcast. I'm not sure if I mentioned it here, but a couple months back, Elon Musk, maybe not even a couple of months, It was one of the days that Warren Buffett was selling like $1 billion or many billions of dollars worth of stock that people couldn't quite understand. And Elon Musk kind of offhand said that that Warren Buffett basically was the Fed or something. And what a strange thing to say. Let me see if I can find the exact comment.
Sorry, I find that too. That is interesting.
Guys, while they are both looking up stuff, hit that like button. Let's see if we can knock out number one on the leaderboard and not have some kind of bull crap like Devin Nunes kicking us off the top spot. So hit that thumbs up if you like it. And if you don't like it, hit that thumbs up anyway. Please and thank you.
John, I got it.
You found it?
Yeah.
You can share your screen too.
Yep, doing it. So,
have you shared your screen, Chris?
I sure have. There we are.
Okay. Morning Brew sells $90 billion in stocks, sits on $277 billion in cash, holds more T-bills than the Fed, chess, not checkers, and now a meme of Buffett. Be sus when everyone is bussin'. Be bussin' when everyone is sus.
And that's probably the best that meme has ever been read.
Thank you. And Elon Musk responds, he is basically the Fed. Well,
strange thing to say, isn't it?
We should send him, we really need to send him an 8-track t-shirt that says basically the Fed on his shirt.
Well, like, because I get it. Fed.
Basically the Fed rather than basically a Fed.
Mm-hmm.
With a picture of Warren Buffett. Yeah, that's clever, Patrick.
Thank
that
you.
is an interesting thing to say. And I wonder how much that does have to relate to what Trump did with the Fed and Treasury. Honestly, like I've looked into that so many times, and every time I get so confused because it's confusing. The whole Fed, the way our monetary system works in general, is just confusing as hell. And part of that is probably on purpose. But yeah, I mean, did that move completely like change the landscape?
I think it probably did.
Gosh, I remember we were interviewing Fat Tails. I think it was both me and you, Patrick. And didn't he say that they reversed that move though? Like Trump reversed it back before he left office?
It's been so long. And it's just, man, this topic is so opaque to me. I don't know how many United States dollars are in circulation. They have Euro dollars. What's that? Well, that's a special kind of United States dollar that is completely unregulated and sits outside of the United States borders. And they are Euro dollars are basically the preferred currency of all transnational organized crime. And it just gets confusing after a while. But it is trillions and trillions of dollars. The balance sheet on SWIFT, the total transactions in a year is like over $2 quadrillion. At a certain point, it starts to boggle the mind.
Insane. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with this. I mean, was that this week, September 16th? That's 2 days from now. We're going to have the Twitter space where they talk about this stuff. So we'll have to tune in and listen to that. Maybe we can get Patrick and G Money to cover it for us.
Yes, I'll do that. Also, I really want to know what that screening process is going to look like. I want to see if I can make the cut.
It will be an incredible tell if we start hearing the names of the people who have cleared the screening process and are then participating in the in what is it called again? World Liberty Financial.
Watch it be like Benny Johnson, Tim Pool. We got through first, guys.
I'm saying it would be like Reid Hoffman and the guy that was funding the Ken Griffin and people like that. If it is like oligarchs getting in that thing, that's going to be amazing because this guy, Jeff Yass, who I guess funds the Chamber of Commerce or something. And I might be getting that part wrong. And then is like a $20 billion stakeholder in TikTok. He's got all this money in DJT. That's very strange.
Yeah, but I think I see what you're saying here. So like if they start releasing the names of the people who get screened, which would be
Yeah.
crazy, but if it's all these like deep state leftists or like
who would never
public leftists,
participate in a Trump project, that would be
Yeah.
absolutely hysterical.
that would be funny. But I doubt that I doubt they're gonna publicize those names. But who knows? Who knows? Let's get into a little bit of this story quick, since Patrick's here to read for us, because I mean this narrative isn't going away. It's going to be here for up until probably the inauguration and well into Trump's second term, because the left is not going to be able to cope with Trump actually winning and all the bullshit that goes down. They're going to blame Russia for helping. But anyway, let's read this from Badlands Media, Patrick.
U.S. launches initiative to expose RT's ties to Russian intelligence and counter global influence. So Russia Today has ties to Russia. The Biden administration announced a significant initiative on Friday aimed at countering the global influence of the Russian state media network Russia Today, which declassified U.S. intelligence findings show is deeply involved in the Kremlin's intelligence and covert operations worldwide. The State Department announced plans for a diplomatic campaign to warn other countries about the risks associated with RT's activities. Quote, thanks to new information, much of which originates from RT employees, we know that RT possessed cyber capabilities and engaged in covert information and influence operations and military procurement, said Secretary of State Antony Blinken. A key intelligence finding revealed that for over a year, Russia embedded an intelligence unit within RT focusing on global influence operations. U.S. officials described this as a significant expansion of RT's role as a Kremlin tool, extending beyond propaganda to include activities like military procurement. Blinken further alleged that RT leaders also oversaw a crowdfunding campaign to supply military equipment to Russian troops in Ukraine, providing sniper rifles, drones, body armor, and other gear. The U.S. seeks to curb RT's global operations by informing countries about its connections to Russian intelligence and its impact on democratic processes.
Crazy.
RT mocked the U.S. announcement in a statement, joking, "We've been broadcasting straight out of the KGB headquarters all this time." Look, I feel punked here, guys. The media outlets are intelligence services mouthpieces. Turns out Russia has one too.
Right. If anything, like this is great exposure, because if anybody thinks, I mean, if Russia is doing something, clearly the United States is doing it, and doing it far more nefariously than anybody.
Our entire media apparatus is controlled by the Central Intelligence Agency. There's not a single reporter in the national news who is not a friggin' employee of the Central Intelligence Agency. Anderson Cooper might as well have it tattooed on his forehead.
But yeah, hold on, I gotta handle somebody in the chat here.
All right. Anyway, so this development follows the U.S. Department of Justice filing charges against RT employees for funneling nearly $10 million into a covert influence campaign aimed at shaping public opinion in the U.S. ahead of the 2024 presidential election. The U.S. is now building a coalition to confront RT's influence, similar to its efforts to counter the Chinese telecom giant Huawei. This is surreal, guys. You know, they have their own influence company, and the United States acts like this is the most shocking thing ever. And now they're on a campaign to, quote, warn other countries. This is just, this is a pantomime.
Got to get all the allies together on the same page so that they can censor collectively.
Yes.
This just has me thinking that, I mean, this has to be like seeding the narrative. And I think we've even talked about this before, but they've got to lay that foundation for whatever outcome happens in 2024 that is against the one that they are trying to create, that they have a justification now to respond in a certain fashion. And I don't know what that fashion is going to be, if it's the 14th Amendment thing or what, but this is like the 5th or 6th Russian interference story we've had in like 2 weeks. And I feel like we're going to have more, but it has to be for a reason. They don't put stuff like this out there unless there's there's a reason for it later on.
Well, they're pushing the nuke stuff right now too. So maybe just trying to drum up the idea that Russia is this grave threat to us.
Maybe. Should we get into that? Do you have a link for that story?
The Ukraine nuke thing? I can find one real quick.
Yeah, I mean, because I had this that I wanted to talk about. I thought this was pretty funny. You know, for 2 or 3 years, we've been told that the United States was like not involved in this war in Ukraine or anything like that. But then we get this this story, which was pretty freaking hilarious.
Biden poised to approve Ukraine's use of long-range Western weapons in Russia. The topic will be on the agenda Friday with the first visit to Washington by Britain's new Prime Minister, Keir Starmer.
Read just like the first. Let's read through just these 3 paragraphs.
President Biden appears to be on the verge of clearing the way for Ukraine to launch long-range Western weapons deep inside Russian territory, as long as it doesn't use arms provided by the United States, European officials say. The issue, which has long been debated in the White House, is coming to a head on Friday with the first visit to Washington by Britain's new Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. Britain has already signaled to the United States that it is eager to let Ukraine use its Storm Shadow long-range missiles to strike at Russian military targets far from the Ukrainian border, but it wants explicit permission from Mr. Biden in order to demonstrate a coordinated strategy with the United States and France, which makes a similar missile. American officials say Mr. Biden has not made a decision, but we'll hear from Mr. Starmer on Friday. So you can shoot off British dicks, but you can't shoot off American dicks. But we need permission from the owner of the American dicks to shoot off our British dicks at these Russians.
Wow. I mean, I was just going to say, like, this is them telling the story that we are fighting a proxy war through Ukraine. The dick metaphor visual that you created there, Patrick, was beautiful, though.
I'm sure that clip.
I'm glad you find dicks to be so beautiful.
Touche.
I'm sure that clip will be deployed later for a great purpose.
Probably. But it's just so funny. Like, clearly Biden isn't the one giving permission on any of this stuff. But the story they're telling is that, yeah, we have to ask Biden, you know, the super serious Biden who's at the beach all the time, who can complete sentences and knows definitely what's going on, whether or not we can shoot these missiles into Russia. And they're not even Ukraine missiles. They're European missiles or NATO missiles. The whole story is just bullshit.
And we do have Putin out there saying, guys, we will change our calculus of this war if you start shooting British missiles at us. And I'll let you imagine what the differential will be. Because now there's no doubt it is a war between NATO and Russia.
And here's that.
The pantomime of it all is a little ridiculous at this point. Like, at least just have Klaus do all the speaking or something, you know, just skip over the nonsense where they send Joe Biden's corpse over to wherever he went to talk to Keir Starmer about whether or not they can make Volodymyr Zelensky, an actual comedic actor, launch long-range missiles at Russia. Give me a break.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but and also you fine, have Klaus do it. He's a freaking corpsey retard puppet too.
Yeah, but his voice sounds hilarious and he looks like a supervillain. At least everybody else would figure out what's going on. Joe Biden is busy putting on Trump hats.
That looked CGI to me, Chris.
Apparently it's not. He took it on Air Force One too.
Let's read through this article here.
It's amazing.
All right, here we go. Read Putin's warning to NATO on Ukraine's use of long-range weapons. The Russian president said Western support for Ukrainian strikes deep inside Russia would put his country and NATO at war. And put those missiles deep in Russia. President Vladimir V. Putin of Russia warned the United States and its Western allies on Thursday that should they permit Ukraine to fire weapons deeper into Russia, they would put his country at war with NATO. Mr. Putin's comments to a state television reporter came just a day before Prime Minister Keir Starmer of Britain was set to meet President Biden in Washington to discuss the prospect of lifting restrictions on Kiev's use of Western-supplied long-range weapons in its war with Russia. In 30 months of war, Ukraine's Western backers have made a series of concessions to Kiev's war effort, supplying Ukraine with increasingly powerful weapons, including tanks, fighter jets, and long-range missiles. Despite previous threats, Mr. Putin has yet to bring his war past Ukraine's borders. But in his comments on Thursday, some of his most direct yet, about the prospect of war with NATO, Mr. Putin said the West would have to supply not just hardware to Ukraine, but also intelligence and technology, changing the West's involvement and the prospects for a Russian response.
Like, what's really happening here? Originally, this war, like they said it right here, they've made these concessions in the war effort, supplying increasingly powerful weapons as the thing has gone along. If this war was as serious as they've said from the beginning, when they tried to justify us sending them all this money and weapons, why don't we just send them the powerful stuff right away if it was that serious?
Well, because they can't actually do that.
I mean, I remember back to the story like over a year ago when they were talking about the HIMARS that we sent over there, but the Cybercom had disabled them from firing into Russia. Do you remember that story?
No. Wait a minute, you're talking about the Starlink satellites, right?
No, the HIMARS. I'll pull it up. Hold on.
I was just about to mention the Starlinks because the idea that the West, quote unquote, hasn't been supplying intelligence and technology the entire time is already refuted within the central narrative many times over the last 2 years.
This is what happened last time. Oh, my device is verified by the Wall Street Journal. That's good. Hold on. Let me get the non-archived link here. You guys really don't remember this? I'm pretty sure we covered it on one of these shows.
I remember HIMARS. The big thing, though, is intelligence.
This is the U.S. altered HIMARS rocket launchers to keep Ukraine from firing missiles into Russia.
I remember this, yeah.
Yeah. But now they're debating whether or not we can have permission to fire those things in there. Like the whole thing is just, it's weird to me. I don't know. But we can keep going through some of this article.
So this is the part where his statement comes into play. Russian state media. They love to say that over and over again, as if we don't have state media here. Over the past few days, this is Putin. Over the past few days, we have been hearing statements at a very high level in the United Kingdom and the United States that the Kyiv regime will be allowed to strike targets deep inside Russia using Western long-range weapons. Apparently, this decision is either about to be made or has already been made as far as we can see. This is actually quite extraordinary. Could you comment on what is going on? Sorry, this is a question asked of Putin. Okay, Putin responds. What we are seeing is an attempt to substitute notions, because this is not a question of whether the Kyiv regime is allowed or not allowed to strike targets on Russian territory. It is already carrying out strikes using unmanned aerial vehicles and other means, but using Western-made, long-range, precision weapons is a completely different story. The fact is that I have mentioned this, and any expert both in our country and in the West will confirm this. The Ukrainian army is not capable of using cutting-edge, high-precision, long-range systems supplied by the West. They cannot do that. These weapons are impossible to employ without intelligence data from satellites, which Ukraine does not have. This can only be done using the European Union's satellites, or US satellites, in general, NATO satellites. This is the first point. The second point, perhaps the most important, the key point even, is that only NATO military personnel can assign flight missions to these missile systems. Ukrainian servicemen cannot do this. Therefore, it is not a question of allowing the Ukrainian regime to strike Russia with these weapons or not. It is about deciding whether NATO countries become directly involved in the military conflict or not. If this decision is made, it will mean nothing short of direct involvement. It will mean that NATO countries, the United States, and European countries are parties to the war in Ukraine. This will mean their direct involvement in the conflict, and it will clearly change the very essence, the very nature of the conflict dramatically. This will mean that NATO countries, the United States, European countries are at war with Russia. And if this is the case, then bearing in mind the change in the essence of the conflict, we will make appropriate decisions in response to the threats that will be posed to us.
There's just something weird going on with this, guys. Like, we've been involved in this war in Ukraine since pretty much day one. We've been giving them weapons, like all sorts of weapons to kill Russia's soldiers. I mean, as much of the war is real, whatever, we don't know what we don't know. But this seems to be like there's a narrative thing going on here. Okay. We've been talking for a long time, like the threat of World War III. I think Bernie Brett wrote a whole Substack on this topic, scare event or whatever. We haven't really gotten the true scare event. And now we have, like this is a perfect deployment 50 some days before the election, a potential nuclear war with Russia. And that seems to me what's going on here.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Got to have a scare event, and it's got to get hot and horrifying right before the election. I think we've all agreed that is how we expect it to go. How hot and how horrifying, I don't know. I think that the powers that should not be, or even the powers that should be, have the ability to fake a nuclear attack.
For sure. And they also have the ability to stage normal conventional attacks and call them nuclear. And they've been drumming up nuclear stuff in Ukraine now for the entire time. They said 30 months. It's almost 31. Right from the beginning, Russia, quote unquote, took over the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. We were told that Russia was threatening to blow that thing up. Do you remember then where there was like this story right at the beginning where they talked about Chernobyl being a nuclear threat, Russia taking over Chernobyl, and there being some threat involved? I bet you can go back and find that. So they've been recycling this Zaporozhye threat every couple of months throughout this entire 2.5+ year period. They've also been running headlines for years. Yeah, well, they were. I don't know if it's that one. To be honest, I remember them talking about Russian military action around Chernobyl. I'll see if I can find it in just a second. But I was when I was looking for that New York Times article. Check this out. This seems it's something that they've been building for years now. I mean, this is what we know about Putin's nuclear threats. October 9th of 2022. This one's from March 13th of 2024. So that's 6 months ago. This February of 24, just always new nuclear threats from Vladimir Putin, whether it's a threat to use weapons or threats on nuclear facilities. And they talked about this incursion of Ukraine. There's a nuclear power plant near Kursk. They want an excuse to make World War III nuclear immediately, at least within the narrative. And so they've kept like edging around that for the last 2.5 years. It seems like they're going to try to spark something off. But I mean, all this stuff is just only about everyone's reaction. Like, are people going to believe it?
Okay, so as much of this as we know is real, well, we don't know. But one side, let's say the Biden side, NATO side or whatever is real. They want to provoke some sort of large-scale war with Russia. The motivation behind that is that's a reason for them to postpone an election, in my opinion. If they see the writing on the wall being that bad, they would have Blinken come out and do what he did in Ukraine and say, you know what, guys, we have to wait until this war is over and everybody can vote appropriately, whatever.
That's a scare event right there.
Yep. But the flip side of it is Russia. If you're a sovereign alliance believer, he's like, I'm on board with this. I'll give you the scare event you need, Trump.
Yep. Oh yeah, it'll be scary. When they come out and say no election, they'll scare me too. I'll be scared.
Oh,
it's a scary thing
anyway.
Yeah, it's a fake election anyway. And they, to a certain extent, I think we can all agree, they have kind of been in our face about how the elections are not credible.
Mm-hmm.
For them to come out and say, we're not even going to go through the motions anymore, it's going to hit different.
Yeah.
I fully suspect that that's going to happen at some point with the disclosure about how bad our elections are. I found the Chernobyl article, but John, you mentioned the key feature here. They already did it in Ukraine, you know, and they convinced the people who would support, the neocons, the rest of the Biden and Harris supporters, all of those people have already made the positive argument on why it's okay to cancel elections in order to save democracy.
So funny. But yeah, you're absolutely right. They're already all on board with it. So can't wait to see Rachel Maddow mansplain it to us.
Right?
Oh my.
Yeah. So February 2nd, 26, 2022.
Oh God.
Yeah.
This is from February 2022.
Yeah. We don't need to spend time going through this, but yeah, they in the AI summary of this article, it says that there was a concern of radiation spikes. Automated sensors detected increased radiation levels as Russian military vehicles disturbed contaminated soil in the exclusion zone. Patrick, would you like to respond to that?
That's not real, guys.
Yeah. So
they're just creating a scare event. So I know that this is like makes me in the super duper crazy category to a lot of people. But when they warn us about the toxicity of nuclear weapons, great, whatever. That's fake. I think that if you saw the baseless conspiracies with me, Zach, and John on nuclear weapons, we at least made the case for that. But in general, what they call nuclear energy is not toxic in the way that we've been told that it is. I'm sure there are ways that to make anything toxic if it's got machinery in it, but it's not this forever toxicity that they keep making it out to be. That's a scare tactic, and it remains a scare tactic to this day, in my opinion.
I really want to find, do you guys remember at the beginning of Truth Social when we had little Q?
Yep.
Like at Q on Truth Social, which, hey.
You bet I remember it. It was so weird, surreal. You had, who was it? Cash Patel saying, yeah, now I'm having a beer with Q. And then the little Q account was like one of the Genesis accounts of the Truth Social network.
And had been around for like far longer than
the founders.
Yeah, so crazy.
Yeah, and then of course, General Flynn has to get all cuss wordy with us about Q and how, God damn it, it's just so stupid and fuck all y'all. It's been a wild ride.
So this was the first post. This is from my Substack, but this was the first little Q post back then, and it was the end of February 2022.
And didn't Devin Nunes respond to it with like, who is Q?
Let me see.
And didn't we end up finding out it was Scavino?
Was it? I
never found out that it was Scavino. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. There's no way it was revealed to be Scavino.
Like, this is the beer one. I thought like the flannel, somebody put it together that it was Scavino, but maybe I'm
Flannel Fridays.
Yeah. I do remember the Flannel Fridays part, but
yeah. Oh, and that right there. I mean, what a hell of a meme that is. Russia invades Ukraine. China sends aircraft to Taiwan.
Oh my gosh.
News.
I
don't actually get it.
It's impossible to get.
Okay, good.
But someday it'll make sense, I'm certain.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Well, yeah. So we'll see what happens with the Russia story. I think it's only gonna get worse. We got another story here I want to go through from Venezuela, and I thought there was one more thing I wanted to get into, but I can't remember what it was. It was really good. I'll find it. But here, let's read this first, Patrick.
Okay, read what
first? Because some CIA is up to some shit right now.
I would be disappointed if they weren't. Venezuela detains foreigners over alleged plot to assassinate, overthrow Maduro. Venezuelan authorities arrested 3 Americans, 2 Spaniards, a Czech citizen on Saturday, accusing them of a plot to assassinate President Nicolas Maduro. The arrests were announced on state television by Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello, who claimed the foreign nationals were part of a CIA-led conspiracy aimed at overthrowing the Venezuelan government. During the broadcast, Cabello displayed images of rifles, alleging that over 400 weapons were confiscated from individuals involved in the plot. Among the arrested Americans was Wilbert Joseph Castaneda Gomez, a former Navy SEAL who, according to Cabello, had previously served in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Colombia. Spain's embassy in Venezuela has not commented on the detentions of its citizens. The U.S. State Department has confirmed the detention of an American military member and acknowledged reports of 2 additional U.S. citizens being held, though details remain unverified. The statement rejected any allegations of U.S. involvement in a plot against Maduro, claiming that the United States remains committed to backing a democratic resolution to Venezuela's political crisis.
I mean, the CIA tried to take out Trump. I mean, why wouldn't they try to take out Maduro too? Doesn't. But the story is just interesting. We still have this little Venezuela, narrative storyline going on having to do with their election. And I think it's interesting considering ours coming up here soon and the parallels we might end up seeing on it.
Yeah. I just found some sort of background on this man.
This guy? Wilbert?
That has maybe there's just a Wilbert Castaneda, and this is not the same guy. This says this guy is this is old school.
1967.
Wow. So that is not the same person.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be. But let's see.
No, he would have to be old as fuck.
Wilbert Joseph Castaneda Gomez. I don't know, man. But yeah, do you guys have any thoughts on the story? I just wanted to point it out. We don't have to dig too far deep into it.
I mean, I think that this is fantastic as an exposure op. I love the entire Maduro storyline. I think it is a 10 out of 10 for effectiveness and humor.
If the Western clown media calls another country's media state media, I just say, okay, they're the good guys. Let's just see it. Let's see how it works from there. And I don't care if I'm wrong. I think that heuristic is more effective than anything else I've come up with so far.
It's a very, very good one. I go to it all the time.
Yeah.
The idea that all of this media is global regime state media. It's all propaganda. The BBC was the one who started the Trusted News Initiative. The Associated Press and Reuters are all tied in. They're funded by globalists, owned by globalists, totally down with the cause of the regime and the full agenda. They are the mouthpieces of the regime, and those are the newswire services upon which all the other news is built. So that's already global media. It's not American media. It's owned by the regime. That is state media from this all-encompassing global state. And they call all the news networks that disagree with them in whatever country state media.
Guys, this is way off tangent, but can somebody explain what's going on in New York right now? Like, with this, they have another person stepping down. Like, didn't the police chief or something get in trouble and all these? Like, what is going on in New York?
Dude, I have no freaking clue. Okay, let's start with Eric Adams.
Chris, have you been following any of this?
What's that?
I'm curious if Chris has been following any of this.
I haven't really. I saw Eric Adams say some stuff the other day and then appoint Tom Donnellan as the interim police commissioner. And that itself is weird. We can go look at Tom Donnellan's.
We looked at Tom Donnellan on the Liberty Den because of what you had said about him a while back, I think. Am I right about that, John?
Maybe.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, I was kind of distracted reading this because not only did this person resign, but 2 days ago, NYPD Commissioner Edward Caban was forced out after federal agents raided his home and seized his cell phone and that of his twin brother and several aides. They also raided the home of First Deputy Mayor Sheena Wright, Schools Chancellor David Banks, and Banks' brother, Deputy Mayor for Public Safety Phil Banks. Like, what the hell is going on?
Let's take Eric Adams, okay? This guy says some pretty based stuff about not wanting to be flooded with immigrants. And we've been seeing his administration being beset by feds ever since. So there's that.
He's been weird the whole time, man.
But there's got to be something more here.
Yeah. Do you want me to read this thing about Thomas Edward Donilon?
No, I just figured we could do a little bit of the bio here. Just, it is unbelievable to me that this is the character who gets chosen to become interim commissioner in the NYPD.
Well, he was the 22nd National Security Advisor in the Obama administration. He worked in the Carter and Clinton administration. So this guy's been installed. This guy is a Fed's Fed.
He was followed by
to be the New York City Police Commissioner.
Because he was the one who was followed by Susan Rice, right?
Here, let me see. I can scroll down. It also says he's the chairman of the BlackRock Investment Institute, the firm's global think tank, succeeded by Susan Rice. Yes.
Ew. These people are freaking the cabal squared, and they're sticking him to head the NYPD. That's the commissioner. That's Commissioner Gordon. That's the dude who's supposed to be fighting crime in New York City.
Wendy Sherman is part of the International Crisis Group board.
The International Crisis Group being that
organization.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Run by Mark Malloch Brown, involving both Soros the Elder and Soros the Younger.
You know, we need to look for these names in the friggin' Podesta emails.
This is the part that's interesting to me right here. I got it. I'm looking into them here too. Oh shoot, whoops. 2016. Here, read this one, Patrick.
All right. In April 2016, Obama appointed Donilon as chair of the Commission on Enhancing National Cybersecurity. The commission's report, which was released in December of that year, made recommendations for enhancing cybersecurity in the United States. Donilon presented findings to Obama, who called them thoughtful and pragmatic, and asked for them to be presented to President-elect Donald Trump's transition team ahead of the 2016 presidential election after the Democratic National Committee cyber attacks. Holy crap. Donilon called for an FBI investigation of the attack and public condemnation against the perpetrators, saying that Russia's claims that it does not interfere in political processes in cyberspace were just wrong. In 2017, Donilon wrote an opinion piece in the Washington Post in which he provided recommendations for hack-proofing future elections from foreign meddling. I bet they involved always making sure Democrats won. During Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, Donilon was co-chair of the Clinton-Kaine Transition Project. As its foreign policy lead, if Clinton had won, Donilon was widely considered a candidate to be Secretary of State or CIA Director. What the Okay, I'm going to go to the WikiLeaks emails and find this clown in there, and I guarantee you there will be good stuff.
He was a candidate for the director of the CIA under Biden too, it looks like. But it wasn't given it. Man, this is
leading BlackRock's think tank. That's the guy doing it. Wow.
Yeah, I don't get it. Weird shit going on in New York.
Here is the there's NBC New York announcing, and Eric Adams announcing Tom. Wait a second. Is this a typo, or am I just on the wrong guy here?
I think you're on the wrong guy.
Oh my gosh. Well, I apologize. This is Tom Donilon.
So that whole dig, while interesting.
Well, yeah,
was irrelevant.
that was Gosh, man.
What's going on? Wait,
It's a different guy.
It's a different guy.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, look. There's no I here. Tom
This
Donlin.
is the guy. Much less interesting Wikipedia page.
Man, hey, sorry out there, Devolution Power Hour audience.
Hey guys, shit.
He's a special agent FBI.
This sounds much more like someone who should be involved in law enforcement. But aside to the Joint Terrorism Task Force in the FBI's New York City office, where he was assigned to share the responsibility of investigating the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. Wow.
What are the chances that the name would just miss one damn letter?
I guess pretty good.
I want to know what two financial companies he was with.
Wait, financial companies this guy was with?
Yeah, it says right here. After retiring from the FBI, he was global security director at two financial corporations.
Okay.
I'm looking at the article to see if I can find which ones. It doesn't really say.
I can find more.
Yeah, anyway, I know it's a tangent, not really devolution related, but I'm just curious, like what the hell is going on in New York? Because there's.
Wait a second. Okay, so this is extra weird now. So I just pulled this up on Perplexity. This is all from. There are articles on things to know apparently about Tom Donlin, and maybe we can get it.
Share your screen, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which is the best screen. Yeah, let's go ahead and just do this one. So this is the article that Perplexity is referencing for things to know about the New York the NYPD interim commissioner. And then how about this right here?
Former state Homeland Security czar Donlin served as the director of New York Office of Homeland Security for roughly a year and a half, departing the position in 2010 to become head of security at BlackRock.
So you're kind of right anyway.
It brought us back around to exactly the same place.
My God, we're being punked.
I guess.
Are any of these people even real? Why do those names have to be the same thing minus one letter?
Both look at BlackRock. Something. Are either of these guys even real?
Right? Okay, let's have one guy. We're going to call him Tom Donilon. This other guy, we're going to call him Tom Donlon. And we're going to see if the people buy it.
All right. Anyway, enough on New York. Last thing I want to show you guys tonight is, remember, was it 2 weeks ago we went over NSPM 32 and the Twitter thread that had it in there, but didn't have the source document of it? Well, Kat actually sent me the PDF of it. She had downloaded like 3 years ago, she said, Kat the Great on Twitter. And it was scrubbed from the website, she said, but I have the actual source document now. And so we don't have to go through the whole thing, but I just wanted to show you guys that this NSPM is legit. It's real. Like, it's exactly what we talked about a couple weeks ago. And again, I think one of the most, well, let's just read this main thing one more time to refresh a memory.
Subject: Distribution of National Security Presidential Memorandum 32. Attached is your department's or agency's copy of National Security Presidential Memorandum 32. It's NSPM. As direct communication of new presidential policy and direction on national security matters, it must be safeguarded accordingly. In general, copies of NSPMs are not to be redistributed beyond your department or agency without the advance approval of the National Security Council staff. Public requests for copies or access to NSPMs or presidential directives of prior administrations should be referred to the National Security Council. All such
Okay, that's good. I'm gonna have you read again the situation here, because this is like the narrative warfare stuff, which I think is most interesting. So read this.
Okay. Situation. The United States faces significant and growing challenges from the fast evolving modern information environment. These challenges result from both positive developments in communications technologies and the malign use of such developments by state and non-state adversaries and competitors, many that use whole-of-nation efforts short of armed conflict in attempts to displace the global leadership of the United States, its allies, and partners. Under this strategic setting, presidential decision-making and policy implementation require a dynamic and coordinated executive response to preserve United States leadership in the modern information environment and strengthen the nation's incident management capabilities in support of the president. The United States must share information on critical incidents in a timely and effective manner to keep pace with decision-makers' requirements.
There's that. And then, yeah, at the end of this, we have this chart with all this stuff that we can actually see now. So I just got this like 15, 20 minutes before we went live. I don't remember what it was. It was very shortly before we went live. I haven't had a chance to go through every one of these yet, but I will. And if anything specifically sticks out, we'll probably talk about in the next Power Hour. But it's a real document. NSPM 32 has to do with the reporting directly to the White House Situation Room. And I still think that's fascinating. So it's legit, guys.
So would it make sense that all of the agencies that could potentially be involved would get would have a similar document recommending how to apply the new protocols, whatever they are?
Yeah, so like this is the one from the VA, right? And so the VA at the very beginning, they give their little like, hey guys, this is, you know, this is how here at the VA we're going to be doing this. And then at the end of it, they have another one where they do the same thing except a little more detail, and they talk about their specific tiers of what they're going to be reporting. And so yeah, every agency that's on this list here, so all agencies, DHS, DOI, DOT, Commerce, sector specific agencies, HHS, FBI, NCTC, like they all have their own protocol just like this. You said Treasury, ODNI, DOD, or they, depending on the incident, they report it through. They have their protocols. But yeah, good question.
Yeah, makes sense though.
Yeah, but it's definitely interesting. So I will go through this list in detail and get back to you on it. I just wanted to show you it's real. So that's all I got for tonight, guys. You want to go through some rants?
Yeah, I pulled up a bunch of them.
What's the first one you got?
I got Q of Swords.
The just saw an X one?
Just saw an X, yes.
Okay, so there's only one before that I see, and it's Old Man T saying, more people watching Phil than Badlands shows the people are retarded. We deserve the hose. And they are referring to this. Let me pull up my Twitter profile. So the top streams from the debate night, we were number 9 on the list, just ahead of Benny Johnson, which warms my heart greatly.
Just behind InfoWars.
Yeah. I mean, we were barely behind a few, but then, yeah.
That's amazing.
Phil got us. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So thank you guys for tuning in for that. The live coverage stuff, we try to make it fun and enjoyable and informational. And we appreciate you guys tuning in and hitting
Phil
that thumbs up.
Dabrowski, number 4.
Yeah, that's what that rant was about.
I'm humanity was a mistake.
I'm gonna reach out to the Rumble guys and see if they have a way of like determining real viewers versus not real viewers, because there's no way.
Phil Godlewski might be, couldn't he spoof it and like get fake statistics?
I'm sure. I mean, he was doing stream. I'll leave this to Jordan Sather. I don't know. Maybe not. Jordan probably knows. But here, let's keep going, Patrick. You want
to? You bet. All right. Next. Q of Swords 3 just saw on X that the whistleblower that told us ABC gave questions to Hairball just died in auto accident. Wow. I didn't know that. Thank you. Who's Hairball? I'm assuming that's Kamala
Harris.
Yeah. Well, that whole thing is weird because like a few people were reporting that there was a whistleblower saying that ABC gave the questions ahead of time to Harris. We never really got definitive confirmation, and this is the first I heard of that person dying. So I don't know. The whole thing now seems fake, even though it's obvious. Like it's definitely what happened. If not, like you said at the beginning of the show, Chris, Harris campaign probably gave the questions to ABC.
Yeah.
Which, if that came out, that would be even far worse for them.
Same team, man. Same team.
Yeah. Anyway.
$50 boom diggity. Highly recommend The Serpent and the Rainbow, a Harvard scientist's astonishing journey into the secret societies of Haitian voodoo, zombies, and magic by Wade Davis, published in 1997. Thank you, Boom Diggity, for the very generous super chat. And yeah, that is worth checking into. My mother actually texted me today. She said, do you think that cats and dogs are getting eaten in Ohio? And I said, I think that a lot of Haitians practice a religion that involves animal sacrifice. Other than that, I don't really want to commit to anything.
I don't know.
But I like the meme. I love the meme.
I do know in 2018, Trump signed that bill protecting, animals from animal cruelty.
That is amazing.
So he's got that on his record that he's going to be the one that's going to save the animals, which funny. Anyway.
And there's another one apparently about cats and dogs as food, but only as part of like the food trade.
I didn't see that one.
Did you see the song on Twitter? They're eating the cats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody's seen that then.
That came out like the day after the debate too. It was crazy how quick that was.
That was amazing.
There's also like a whole Taylor Swift 3-minute song about how she's the worst now that she's endorsed Kamala. That came out the day after too. Did you guys see that one?
No, I did not see it. I think I might have started watching it, but I don't really. I hate her. I think she's a dude, and I think she's a witch, and I just hate her. So I've always hated her, though.
But it's pretty impressive to be the first male witch.
She's a very powerful man witch.
Man witch. That isn't that like a can't you get that at the grocery store?
Like a Burger King or barbecue type thing.
Yeah. So yeah, here it is.
Ooh. Is it legal to eat dogs in the U.S.? No, Trump made that a law when he signed the 2018 Farm Bill. Kick ass.
And this is just from this week, so that's kind of like
that dog is just frolicking happy. I can't be eaten in the USA.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, I won't play this whole song, but I will just show you what I'm talking about.
Eating.
After the debate, I just couldn't wait. They told me what to say. Played in every way. I want Euro-level rapes, unrecognizable states.
It's catchy. Gotta give it credit. Oh, Taylor, why can't I quit you?
I want Trump losing, Haitians barbecuing, Garfield with some cumin, right outside saying this cat's cooking up real nice. Cause I'm Taylor and I play.
You don't have to listen to the whole thing, but pretty funny. Whoever put that shit together so quickly.
Man, did you see this video from this guy called the Kiffness?
No.
I guess this is how he goes. I think that I have downloaded this quickly enough to share here. This song gets really funny.
Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
People of Springfield, please don't eat my cats. Why would you do that? Eat something else. People of Springfield, please don't eat my dog. Here's a catalog of other things to eat.
They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
of the people that live there.
They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets
Of the people that live there.
There's an
in
end part of this.
Springfield. They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
What the hell?
That was fantastic.
That was pretty good. Yeah. That was good. Okay, Patrick, let's keep going.
I love that shit. $5 Crooked Halo Angel World Liberty Financial. New Trump crypto is a stable coin. Boy, they should have led with that. A stable coin means that it's pegged to some fiat currency, probably the dollar. So it means it's going to be worth about $1. So there's that. When banking goes fully digital, he probably wants countries to trade in a stable coin linked to the US dollar. Telegram channel explains. I want to know if it uses proof of work, proof of stake. It's on Ethereum, so you got to think Ethereum is going to move over to proof of stake eventually. And I'm a big fan of the XRP protocol. $15. Good evening, 1027JS. Good evening to you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
All the articles about BRICS, wondering what BRICS is going to be. There's so many of these. There's so many stories about countries like Venezuela moving away from. I think we're already off of SWIFT through the sanctions or whatever, but creating currencies to use for global trade, and then I'm wondering if there's going to be a model where there is a cryptocurrency used for global trade, and then the individual currencies of countries will be pegged to maybe that, or maybe there's a basket of cryptocurrencies that are involved with that. And I wonder if Trump is setting something up along those lines.
Could be fun.
We shall see. I'm going to tune in on Tuesday. Maybe we should cover that.
Monday.
Yeah, 16th.
$10. T3 T excellent. John, mind if I wear Badlands shirt while I do some street interviews for TikTok in Conroe?
I would love you to wear Badlands shirt everywhere.
And he's in Conroe Woodlands. Patrick, if you want to piss off some liberals. Does Conroe still have liberals? But yeah, it sounds really good. pgunnels@gmail.com. Let me know what you're up to.
Yeah, and guys, I will never be upset at you wearing a Badlands shirt.
Yep. $1. Julie Alberta 3 Dead Cat Bounce Q. Drops 2780 February 18th, 2019. Number 1595 June 26th, 2018. And 948 March 15th, 2018. Number 834 March 13th, 2018. Springfield, Ohio. Oh my. Hey. Whoa. Check. Somebody run that down. Dead Cat Bounce being the key. And somehow Springfield, Ohio is mentioned. I'd like to know if that's the case. Thank you so much, Julie Alberta. $2. Keith O'Higgins. To answer Tim Walls' question, no, but my bingo card still has belly full of horse semen.
Oh.
Keep going.
$5. Diwandé. Kakistocracy is a state or country run by the worst, least qualified, or unscrupulous citizens. This is what we are living under. Yes, true. Thank you for the super chat. And I learned that word from none other than John O'Brennan, who used it on Twitter to refer to Trump's administration as a kakistocracy. $1. Keith O'Higgins. Hey, Patrick, Jesus 2.0 is playing with fire and brimstone. Christ, it was Christ 2.0. $2. Keith O'Higgins. I think the Springfield pet story has legs. Oh, just saw a video of kids in Springfield chanting "Eeny, meeny, miny, mole, catch a Haitian with the pet they stole." Guys, what I want to know from a real person in Springfield is, did they really send 20,000? Because apparently it's a town of 60,000. It's impossible to miss when your population increases by 33% and they're all Haitians.
I don't know.
All right.
And one more came through, and then we're
$2.
Oh.
Crooked Halo Angel Patrick. I've been learning about XRP. Interesting stuff. Thanks for mentioning it. Thank you, John. Before we go, can I do my little promo on my new body butter?
Yep, I accidentally took it out of the chat and I didn't play it last night. You put it in. You put it in this StreamYard.
It's here, bro. It's here, man.
Okay.
Here
but
I
you,
go.
You didn't put
Ready?
in the Liberty Den one. Hold on. I'm gonna do the boost quick.
Oh, rock and roll.
Or actually, no, go ahead and do that while I get this pulled up.
Here we go. Hey, Badlanders. Patrick Gunnell's coming at you from Houston, Texas, at the wonderful Texas dance competition that I am attending as a spectator. Guys, I have got an offer for you. While supplies last, we have an amazing product. Clean Hippie Epic Moisture Creamy Body Butter of essential oils of lime and patchouli, steam distilled lime, organic patchouli. While supplies last, use promo code Badlands for 10% off. And every time you do that, 25% of that sale goes directly into an account that pays Badlanders salaries while supplies last. We made 100 of these. That's all we're going to sell. Get them while they're here. And then, they'll just be gone. So check it out. www.epicminerals.net, promo code Badlands.
All right. And I'm going to do the boost here because we missed last week. And we might have even missed a couple of weeks because I'd been forgetting, but I remember now. So Bubblehead said today, $17. Love you guys, but you missed 2 boosts I posted last Saturday, the 7th. Was giving you kudos to each of you, especially Patrick. So we'll get to those here in a second. Thank you. Mateo127, $20. Patrick, Elon is trolling his first civilian spacewalk. And then he posted a link.
God.
And then he says, ha ha ha, the blow up dummy is walking in space. For F's sake, flat Earth, NASA lies, not devil related, but just saying.
Yeah, the newest spacewalk, guys, Elon is trying to tell us. There's no way at this point. It's so fake. You know it's fake because it looks so gay, is the best way to put it.
I think here's the video he sent with it.
Emerging Copy from... review test matrix 1, watching from the nose cone.
Up, down, left, and right are 3. Pitch and roll are 3. Yaw is a 2.
There you go.
I can't imagine having spent the morning months in anticipation, actually years in anticipation, because that event kept getting delayed. But then to stick around that morning being like, I can't wait to watch this space bullshit on X. And then you turn it on and it's like that guy trying to like climb out the pool ladder.
Yeah. It's pretty insane, man. 2 from Bubblehead here. The Clitty Flanagan video clip would be perfect outro. Just ask Patrick.
Do you have it?
No.
It's so good.
What is that?
I'll find it. Give me a sec. Just give me 1 second.
Okay, and then one more from Bubblehead, $17. I always feel wiser after listening to DPH. From John, I learned the intricacies of 13848. From Chris, I now appreciate the complex irrelevancy of voting. And from Patrick and the Urban Dictionary, I learned about power bottoms and Clitty Flanagan.
So I pulled up Clitty Flanagan.
Okay, well, that can be our outro. So if you want to share your screen and play that.
I'm happy to do it, y'alls.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your night.
Hit the thumbs up, guys, before we go. Hit the thumbs up.
Yeah, hit that thumbs up, and we'll see you next time we see you. Go ahead, Patrick.
Moving on to some worrying news now, and supposedly doctors' waiting rooms may soon be empty with advanced new medical apps being developed to help people diagnose and treat themselves. We're joined now by the Oracle on everything, Kitty Flanagan. Now, Kitty, should I be worried about my job?
Well, if you keep calling me Clitty, you should, yeah. But, it's like that. I think if you're talking about your job, as as a doctor, because I know you do like to run around pretending to be a medical practitioner,
Well, it's
then I don't
technically
think
correct.
you need to worry.
Sorry. I'm sorry.